Imagine if you could meet the one person who is changing the world, the one person who is consciously doing the impossible. Yes, guys, whether that's releasing statues from past energies to literally changing Earth's core, the very energy in which we embody here on Mother Earth. There's one human being who's dedicated their life to changing ours. Today I sit down with the incomparable Roshanna Alvarado, the one woman who has dedicated her life to making your world a better place. Yeah, guys, this shit exists. And if you don't believe me, let's hear it from the source. This is Roshanna Alvarado. So, who are you?
I'm a human being. We'll start there. And so many emotions come with that because I've spent the last 7 years dedicating my life to being the highest potential of the human being. So now it feels nice to say, I'm just a human being. But at the core of me, I am creation itself. I am the creator. And everything I do is to remind everybody that we are the individual creator. And what I have learned is to create the world that I think we all envision we're deserving of experiencing. We really, really have to only turn within self, only focus on self, only be true to self. And so I am a person that has given up all of what humanity has been taught is going to bring us happiness and success. I gave all that up to learn where true happiness and success was waiting for us. That took me to the heights of divinity. That took me to the highest potential of what a human being is capable of.
So in you being a human being that's decided to make different decisions, some that haven't even been made in our recent lifetimes, how has that both looked and felt for you? Because I don't think people truly understand the magnitude of the life you've chosen to live.
Looked and felt for me, wow. It's looked completely different, completely opposite of what we were taught our life should look like. We were taught we should have family, we should have community, we should have love and support, we should give, we should feel love. And what I've learned that it really looks like in the decisions that I make is losing people when I'm choosing myself, making people angry in those choices, letting go of the need for community to support myself, letting go of the need for validation to believe in myself, letting go of the need of love and acceptance and pats on the back and a good job, letting go of that so that I could learn how to give all of it to myself. That way I would guarantee I always had it. And that's why I think that's what humanity is missing. Every choice we make is searching for love and acceptance, but from other people. And that's where we fall short. We're never actually going to feel from other people what we don't give to ourselves. It feels completely opposite of what humanity is currently experiencing. I live very free. I am very free. It's not just a show I put on and then come home and I'm miserable. I've become my own foundation, my own totem pole, my own support system. And I've been very happy and free in doing that, which has attracted, because everything is energy, has attracted people to my life that do love and support me genuinely for who I am, not for what I do for them. And this is the key that humanity's been missing. I asked to be shown what is humanity missing so that I can give it to them. The answer was simple as love. Then I was taken down the path of what love really was. Learning that everything we've been taught about love has always included other people. That's always been a lie. Everything is us. It's felt lonely in the beginning, but I didn't let myself dwell in that loneliness. I allowed myself to embody a new belief that what if I'm not lonely? What if I'm just not actually communicating with every aspect of myself? Because when I learned to communicate only with myself, me and my highest self, I live now, I'm never actually alone. Always in constant communication with myself. And it doesn't feel lonely at all. And it releases the need to have somebody around me at all times. Now my relationships are genuine because I don't need anything from anybody. The people I have around me is because I genuinely want them around me without having to drain anything from them. So it feels great. Has it always felt great? Honestly, no. But again, those choices of not dwelling in the bad and instead perceiving it as necessary for that one goal I set for myself. And that was to reach the highest potential of a person I could be here in order to show humanity who we are.
Now, we as human beings have a very bad habit of placing labels and expectations upon things we can't understand. She's embodying the very essence of something that has not been present here on Earth for a millennia. So this goes beyond spirituality. This isn't love and light, yoink, yoink, yoink. She's not on that shit. It's a matter of making conscious choices to do what is of your best interest at all times out of love, which embodies a transformation. Because this isn't just for her. She has impacted inanimate objects. Because we are one thing. This is about saving the world, and while that may sound cliche, to save the world just means to save yourself. So let's take a deeper perspective into what it actually looks like to save yourself and some of the miracles and the magical things, which I know you guys are waiting to hear about, that comes with that. Mind you, before we get into the stories, I must say, I've been blessed enough to grace her presence for an entire week. I myself have been a personal witness and participant to some of these unexplainable events that could only be found through truly, well, the world trusting her enough to show her these things. And there are countless other witnesses as well to her extraordinary actions. Some say fact, some say fiction. I say I was there in the moment to witness. So let's truly get into it. So, if you don't mind telling us one of your most miraculous stories from these 7 years that is maybe even hard for you to believe you experienced.
It's hard to pick one miraculous story. Wow, there's been a ton. But I think what still blows my mind is how I'm being used, how Mother Earth is using me to allow herself to transform. I think this is the part that I find the most gratitude for. And that it's hard to believe, even for me. But there's been, I'll use one of the most recent ones that has to do with where I'm at right now. Right now I'm in Buenos Aires, Argentina. And February of last year, this large lump came up on the left side of my back. Very long story short, it turned into a huge infection, which I healed just intuitively what to do for it. But at the time that it was there, I had a trip already planned to Egypt. I went to Egypt and this thing erupted in Egypt. Now it's crazy that I used the word erupted, right? I use that word very intentionally because I was in the medical field for many years. I know what infection looks like, smells like. So this thing should have been yellow, pussy, green, had a smell, that's infection. No, when the skin finally broke and the contents of it came out, it was gray, like ash. And I knew immediately then, this was a volcano. It was given to me immediately then that my body was used at that moment to allow the energy of a volcano to erupt through my body instead of erupting actually on Earth, because it would have created a lot of damage that didn't need to happen. So I was used to harness that eruption so that people didn't have to experience unnecessary damage on Earth, so that Mother Earth didn't have to experience unnecessary damage. And this thing I had on my back was one of the most painful things I've ever experienced in my life. So again, I'm given a way to put a map onto my body to see what part of the world I'm manifesting something in on my body. And so I found coordinates of where this volcano was. and I was led to coordinates of an area right in between Argentina and Africa, in the middle of the ocean. So I said, okay, that's what I cleansed, that's the part that I saved. Okay, just accepted that, right? Well, now here we are, 1 year later. There's headlines, there's NASA headlines saying that in between South America and Africa, the satellites in orbit are not working, and all of these things are happening in the ocean in between, specifically South America and Africa. What I've also been shown is this work that I'm doing. I work a lot with tectonic plates, which also have to do with volcanoes. And what I'm doing is I'm allowing the space for tectonic plates in the world to come together without crashing into each other, again, causing damage, tsunamis, earthquakes, coming together so that all the continents of the world can join back together as they once were. See, everything that's divided by country and land was never created that way. Fear, control, power, ego has divided humanity, which has transformed and manifested into a division of the land on earth. So what love is actually doing is using me. What I'm doing is using love to bring unity back to everything that fear has divided. And that goes further than just humanity, it goes to Mother Earth. So all of the transformation that Mother Earth is going through right now, some lands will sink, some new lands will emerge, some oceans will join, some rivers will form. Everything is changing because I'm allowing my body to be used as a vessel of the transformation that would keep Mother Earth safe and humanity safe, which causes a lot of pain for me at times. But I'm willing to go through it because I know I can. I know I can tolerate it, and I know what it's for. So I think it's these things that, amongst many miracles I've experienced in these 7 years, I think it's still the work that I do with Mother Earth that really blows my mind and makes me very grateful that I've chosen this path. Every time I talk about it, I get emotional because I'm just grateful that I have been chosen and that I have answered the call to do this. And I think that those are the biggest miracles, is the ones that take place on an earth scale.
So as you guys heard, it was simply a series of choices she took just by trusting in the fact that she was shown what humanity was missing: love. Now, what have those decisions led to? This isn't an ordinary woman. She has 20 published books within 5 years. She has freed people from possession through a hug. She has the ability to clear the murky waters of the ocean with just her presence. And while all of this seems crazy, out of this world, through her decisions of radical self-love and acceptance, she's being used as a pillar of love, which has brought her to the capabilities of working with the synchronicities, the naturalness of our planet. So she is showing that this isn't just divine. She's showing that the human experience is divine. And I think it's important that we dig into that a little deeper. So I know I just listed some of your accolades, some crazy stories, some magical things you have done, but why are you truly doing this? Why does this matter?
It matters because I can feel humanity's pain. I've always been able to feel it since I was a child. And I've always known that we're not deserving of this pain. And I went through a life of pain, and I came to a point where I almost died because of my choices. And that's when I decided. I was kind of told that it was my last chance to decide to do something about this world that I live in, that I have the ability to create the world that I envisioned humanity deserved to live. It's important to me because I have a son who has to grow up in this world. And since I brought him into this world, what bigger responsibility to fulfill than to create a world that he is proud to live in and proud to be a part of. It's important to me because humanity is me. Every person is me. And I can see that even the people who we think are deserving of the things that they get, I can see that they're not. Nobody is deserving of pain. Nobody is deserving of suffering. Everybody is deserving of love, no matter who they are or what they've done, no matter where they're from, no matter their color, their background, their ancestry, no matter their own personal sins, whatever you want to call them, their own doings. Everybody's deserving of love. And so I do this because I know that I'm fully capable of loving every human being on this earth, no matter who they are or what they've done. And it's important for me to share that with the world because to this point, nobody else has been willing to let go of their own wants and their own ego so bad that they want to give that to the world, if that makes sense. I wasn't going to place faith in anybody else to do a job that I knew I could do. This is important to me because if we didn't do this, we were going to destroy ourselves. But again, humanity as one collective race. And we don't deserve to keep doing that to ourselves. We don't deserve to keep living the same cycle over and over again and believing that small wins through protest we're making a difference. No, we're not. Because we're still living right now in 2025 the same story as the 1800s, the 1700s, the 1500s, the 1300s. We're repeating it again, just with more technology, just with more money. Doesn't mean the core of the energy is actually different though. So this is important to me because this is what we need to do. We need to take responsibility for our creation of this current world with no condemnation of ourselves, with no shame, with no guilt, but say, you know what? I've taken part in the creation of this, so let me take part in the rebuilding of it. Let me take part in the changing of humanity. So this is important to me because I know that I have the influence, I have the power, and that's love. Love is my power. So when I say I have the power to influence the world in this change, I don't mean anything about superiority. I mean equality. I have the power to love you so much that you remember you're worthy of love. Then you give it to yourself. Now you have the ability to give it to those in your world. And this is how we change the world. So it's important to me because it had to be what was done for humanity to evolve instead of destroy itself.
Let's bring it right back down to earth, okay? And let's talk about how some of your energetic decisions have manifested into your art. What services do you currently offer humanity and why are they different?
Oh, I offer a lot of different things. Everything I'm given intuitively on what to offer. None of it has ever been a business plan. None of it has ever actually been my own plan. I've had visions since the beginning of my journey of what I was to do, but I never knew how that was going to come to be. I've created events where it's kind of like an open mic, and I just say, come and share your art, be it poetry, be it music. Wow, those were in California and, Southern California is where I was hosting those. And those really opened the doors for people to come and showcase an art that they maybe gave up because they had to do a 9-to-5 instead to support their family. This opened a space to remind people what makes you happy and joyful in creating is important to this world. It is important for you to release that and to share it with people. Those events went amazing always. There's no judgment. I never told anybody, no, you cannot. I invited people, come, please share. This is what humanity needs. This is what is changing the world. It's by reminding people that what's important to you is important. What's natural to you, your art, your creation, what's in your mind is important and does need to be shared because all of us will resonate with it and in one way or another. First, my books. I pour everything into my books. When you have my books, you have a piece of my soul. And many people have reached out and said that they can feel my energy. They feel me talking to them. They feel my emotion in them. That's one of the powers that art has, whether your art is writing, singing, dancing. When you are fully engulfed in the passion of something that you're creating, everybody who receives that creation receives the energy, the passion in which you created it. Which is why it's so important also that us as artists need to step away from creating art from pain, because we're spreading pain through that art. Everybody who's receiving our art that came from pain, they're also receiving our suffering, what we went through. And if we want the world, personally, I want the world to feel joy, happiness, peace. I need to create from a place of joy, happiness, and peace, which means I need to find that within myself first, by letting go of the fact that thinking and believing that art only comes from pain and destruction. It doesn't. Art comes from freedom, from bliss, from the beauty you see in the future of life. And this is the art that I choose to share. I started this program called Rise and Renew. It's an international program where I go to somewhere different in the world, and I allow somebody to come and live with me for 1 week, for 7 days and 6 nights. Me providing all of the food intuitively. Some people I put on fasts, mono fasts. I'm giving some people physical exercise to do during that time, some not, some stretches. Everything is intuitive. What that space is, the Rise and Renew, is I allow myself to align with the highest version of yourself in order to communicate to you what you're not allowing yourself to hear. The things that you're not seeing within yourself that are holding you back, I allow myself to align with your soul, to deliver that to you from a foundation of love, which comes with facing ego. In these programs, I have to face the ego of everybody that's in front of me. But ego is simply fear. What I'm giving is simply love. Love naturally transforms fear. It's not a forced thing. It's not an argumentative thing. It's not a right and wrong thing. It's a place that I create for people to come where I'm able to say, here, you are safe to be honest, no matter what that honesty looks like. Here, you are safe to be yourself, even if you don't know what that is yet. Here, you're safe to rest as much as you need to. Here, you're safe to cry as much as you need to. And here, you're safe to face yourself without condemnation, but with love. I'm here to show you how to face yourself with love so that you can transform the things that you do not like or do not need with love instead of condemnation. This is simply, it sounds so simple, but when you're faced with these choices, they are hard choices, because what that comes with is I have to understand nobody in this world owes me anything. Not one person in this world owes me respect. Not one person in this world owes me to treat me a certain way, to validate me in a certain way, to praise me or thank me in a certain way. Nobody owes me that, actually. We don't owe each other anything. In that understanding, I allow people to be who they are, while I accept them exactly for who they are. Saying, if I love you, I'm not trying to fix you. If I love you, I'm not trying to change you. I'm not trying to make you something else. But if I love you, I want you to see that you're capable of making choices to love yourself, which will lead you to a different reality. I've done Rise and Renew virtual also, where I've been with people online 6 days a week for 1 month. That was life-changing for them. And it's just me being called to create this space that people are craving, that says, you are safe here. You are not judged. You can't hurt my feelings. Therefore, you can be honest with me about what you feel. Imagine that. Imagine being able to be honest in your everyday life and not having to worry about upsetting somebody in that honesty. That's what you experience in my presence, because it's just, I love you no matter what you give to me. I can see where that is coming from, and it just needs to be met with love. And that's genuine love. So everything that I'm called to do in every program that I offer is simply from this place where creation tells me, Shauna, this is what they need now. And that's why I highly encourage people also, when I offer something, please join if you feel called to, because you don't know if I'm going to offer it again or in what ways I'm going to offer it again. still a human being. And I have to come back down to walk amongst the human race that I am one with, to remind everybody that there's something more. Simplest terms I can put it in.